It is the start of the week, everyone, so thank you all for joining me. We're going to be going through a list of amazing different resources that I've found that I think will be extremely useful for us as we go through and want to expand our own knowledge. So stick with me as we go through these incredible resources. Hey everyone, I hope you're well, playing and making the games that you all love. You're joining me, your host, lead level designer, Max Pears. Absolute pleasure to be having you with me, whether this be morning, evening, or night. I do appreciate all of you being here and taking time of your day to listen. So with that, we're going to be going through that of the resources, things that I recommend that I believe are the best elements, real material that I have come across over the last week. I'm just talking about ones that I found, thought were useful. I think people could benefit from them, so I just want to share that because after all, I do not know everything, and the more incredible resources that we all have, all get to learn from, well, hey, the better it is, right? Instead of a traditional sponsor, what I'm offering now is that of joining the mailing list. Social media is constantly changing all the time, as we're seeing some people are leaving Twitter, others are choosing to remain, Blue Sky, Threads, all of this. So it's really hard to reach out to all of you incredible aspiring and current game devs. So what I'm offering here is that of a emailing list. So if you want to be kept up to date with all of the great level design news, as well as get your free guide, which is my 10 tips towards better level design, then please join the mailing list. You'll be making sure to get 3 emails a week with me sharing that of different resources, ideas, as well as what I've learned through my career and some Q&As. So if you're constantly looking to improve level design and instead trying to figure out where all this information may be, then look no further than the mailing list. Check down in the description below to join now and get that of your 10 tips to improve your level design. So the first one actually is going to come from us with that of GDC. Now, this is not the first time, but it's called the Uncommon Design Techniques, where we get a set of 5 designers talking about different kind of elements they use that inspires them, that they keep in mind while they're designing for their games. And not every element is really applicable for every game, as you'll see at the end. One of them is more focused on a certain genre than it is on a kind of more global design. But there were some really interesting ones out there. One of the best ones I thought was the second speaker, as she talks about that kind of balance between being tech design and actually delivering on the game itself. Where do you find the balance when it comes to letting it lie in terms of how messy, maybe it's not the most well presented, but it gets the job done, versus that of, okay, but how do we still make it readable even though it's not exactly an artistic wonder when we're looking at it, right? The first one I really enjoyed as well is talking about that kind of the friction element, and some of the games that he's made I think look really interesting. The one called Thirsty Suitors I think looks like a great bit of fun, so I've already picked that up and I'll be checking that out. So yeah, some good ones all around there. I think it's always fascinating to hear how people design differently. What is it that is at the heart of their philosophy as they go through and learn as much as they can, right? And I think, yeah, just a great one for it. So one that I will happily put into resource numero uno. Now the second one is a little different one, as will be the third, but I really wanted to share these because they're kind of in a similar vein. But the first one comes from that of the Oscars, where it's talking about that of the making of movie titles, right? Thinking back to not only that of the films in the 80s and 90s, but also that of the typography that's used. What is it that we can use with our fonts? What do they actually say? And how this has a much bigger impact on not only just the film and what we see, but also that being used in the marketing as well. And just how one man is following one man's journey on this one. I'm sure there's many others out there, but really focusing on that aspect of how he learned his craft, what it was that brought him the eye and attention, as well as he references Exorcist, as that was one that he felt was one of the big standout pieces in his own portfolio, and just what he thinks about as he's doing this. The fact that he also has them all kind of like as a typewriter press plates as well, I find extra fascinating, because again, we have more and more digital tools which are great and incredible. I think it's always fascinating to see people who actually use proper real world equipment for crafting their own designs, processes. It's something that I just find fascinating the more and more that obviously we are in the digital spaces even now, right? And off that similar vein, the third resource I want to jump to is that of breaking down movie posters. And I thought this was a really cool throwback as he goes through some films of the early 2000s, 90s films that I really watched or saw these posters and didn't like, but yet how these different colours can really evoke or be pinned down to a certain genre, and then how that kind of just is used to piggyback one film off for another. You'll see it, but he talks about that of like red and white was used to signify comedies in the early 2000s, right? Late 90s, but then became early 2000s. You think about that with American Pie, Meet the Parents, and just how those different elements signify to viewers of previous films, oh, I liked this, I should probably check this one out, because they're using such a uniformed colour language. And I wouldn't even thought about that, especially as I feel, and maybe I'm wrong here, that a lot of games right now, it's hard to pin them all down regardless AAA, indie, and maybe I'm being a bit naive and there's things out there that I need to actually have a look at more to see what's more of a comparison. But I think it's more common in films than games, but I could be wrong, just because I feel that especially there's a lot more, I don't want to say skill or talent in this side, but I think there's a lot more creative control from the actual people who make it versus those who hire different people, right, to create these posters, I think. So to me that is just a very different one. Also quite fascinating to see them talk about the use of yellow and how that's like an indie, possibly comedy, possibly heart-wrencher versus like the yellow we used throughout Cyberpunk on their marketing. Very different yellows and obviously very different meanings that we're trying to convey as well. So those are the first three. Number 4, I didn't even realize they had this, so I just really wanted to give it a shout out. Is that of the Game Developer Podcast. If some of you don't know, Gamasutra eventually became GameDeveloper.com, and they have a podcast now. Well, I say now, they're on about their 50th episode roughly, but I didn't know about it, so I really wanted to just share that out with you in case you didn't know. I do feel that Game Developers has lost that Gamasutra like contribution of knowledge, I think. But it'll be interesting to see where this one goes, though. Maybe this is another great way to get more developers in, more people sharing. As you'll notice, I don't think there's many blogs in that now as there once was. So yeah, I think that's a very fascinating one to hear and see about. So yeah, it's on my to-do list as well. I've not listened to them, but I like the site. I contribute to Gamasutra for I think 30 articles roughly there, so always a fan of what they do as well. And yeah, the final one I'm just going to put as the level design kit. We've got an update coming out very soon. Been listening to some feedback, so I can't wait to show that. We've got something in the works already, and I hope that you who are users of it appreciate how often we're trying to get updates, right? I think it's been out for just over 6 months, and I think we've got an update nearly for every month, or we're about like 6 out of 7 or something like that, right? So yeah, just to remind you that I'm always looking, I'm always listening. Any feedback you have on that, please send it over. There's some that I can address, there's some maybe depends. But yeah, I hope that you're enjoying it, and I hope that you're enjoying your day. I do apologize this one being a slightly short one. There is a massive heat wave on right now, and sticking myself in this room, I can already feel myself getting very sweaty. and I don't mean that in a provocative manner on this podcast. So thank you all very much. If you want to reach out to me, you can indeed. You can do so via email, which is leveldesignlobby@gmail.com. Get in touch with me on Twitter or Blue Sky, which is @MaxPairs. And if you want to support the show, then please check out in links down descriptions. We have the emailing list, we have the LD kit as I mentioned, the books, and others for you to enjoy. So thank you all very much, and I'll catch you all next time.